Hello and welcome to the Streets of Dublin Simon podcast. I want to offer a very big warm welcome to Sharon, who's here today to talk to us about her housing situation and her experience of renting and homelessness over the past several years. So thank you so much, Sharon, for joining us today. We're really privileged to be here with you and to hear your story. I suppose the first question I would have for you, Sharon, is can you tell me a little bit about what you were like growing up, what that experience was like for you?
Well, I'm from Coolock, and I actually had an abusive father, so I couldn't wait to get to an age where I just left the house. So from an early age, I was I moved out. I moved out of my home and went was with my boyfriend at the time that I married, and we got a house off the Dublin Corporation at the time, and and everything was grand.
And so you were really, really keen to get away from home. You were with your partner,
Yeah,
and you had some children with your partner.
yeah.
And at one point, you had a very young child that was a baby, and you experienced homelessness around that time. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, that was about 12 years ago, and I was renting a house and I was working, and then I had the little fella. So I suppose it was when the landlord was selling the house, and I realised I had to get rid of a lot of stuff. So I went into homelessness then, into like hotels and B&Bs. It was very hard because the child he wasn't even a year old. So I had to carry suitcases, him in the pram, buses every couple of days from one hotel to another B&B, and that was constant for a few months. So it seemed like there was no end in sight until I found accommodation myself, and it was like a landlord's house. So was there for a couple of years, and then he gave me a notice to quit. He said he was selling the house. So I was saying, oh my God, this again. So when COVID came in, he said, well, he had an apartment that I could move into. So I said that was great because I didn't have to go into homelessness, especially with the child. He would have been about seven at this time. Because at least when he was a baby, he wouldn't have remembered. He doesn't remember that. Um, and yeah, it was just I was there in this other apartment for 2 years, and it was the same thing. He gave me another notice to quit. So I was just every day was like, oh my God, I don't want to go into homelessness now with the child at his age in school, and it was a nightmare. And until I got it was an email I got from the council that Dublin Simon was going to offer me a house. That changed my life. Got back on track. It was amazing. So I'll never forget the team from Dublin Simon. They went above and beyond. They were really great, and the help that they gave is ongoing. I'm so thankful and grateful to them. I really am.
Thank you so much, Sharon. So, what does it feel like to realize I'm homeless? Oh my God. Like,
Yeah,
what's that experience
it
like?
was terrible. It was every day because you wouldn't have a day's peace because you're thinking where you're going to sleep that night, and then it was just I was on my own with the child, and it was very draining. It was very you couldn't look forward to anything. You couldn't make plans. It was just a constant, just wondering where am I going to sleep tonight, and constantly ringing the Dublin Corporation, waiting for their phone call, and going from one B&B to another, and this was like every couple of days for a few months. So I couldn't imagine going through it again when the child would be old enough to remember, because that would have a very negative impact on him. I know that.
Right. Okay. And you said to me earlier that you would be travelling on the buses with your suitcases, your
And
baby,
pram.
your pram. What was that like?
That was a nightmare, because that you'd have to, first of all, I wouldn't have everything unpacked, because I try and keep the clothes I had in one suitcase, as clean as possible, because I try and, cause I wouldn't have really anywhere to get them washed. So it was trying, like, I did have a couple of friends that I could go to sometimes to just get clothes washed, and because you don't want to be like dependent on anyone else, and like it's just the way I am. Ask for as little as possible, do it. I have to do this myself, but there's some things, or I'd be always in pennies buying the cheapest of clothes just to have something clean to wear, and then trying to feed him every day. Like, he never got proper dinners for a good while. So yeah, it was them just mainly buying them jars of food, I remember, and like being in the park and just feeding them from the jars.
Wow. Can you recall any particular low points at that time?
It was mainly all low. It was like, when you have a child, you want to enjoy bringing them places, going home, giving them a bath, putting them to bed. That stopped for while I was in homelessness, because I couldn't enjoy him being a baby. It was constantly trying to get him fed properly, trying to put clean clothes on him.
What does that level of stress do to a person? What impact did that have on you?
Well, I got alopecia. I know it was down to that, because I was always stressed. And it's only now, since I have my own house, that it's completely different, because I'm waking up every day so, like, joyful and thankful. And the little fella loves it as well, and he's more happier. Like, even though we had a house, it was a landlord's house, he always knew he couldn't get a pet, or that we were going to move someday. But now at this house we have is turning our lives around. It's amazing. We can plan stuff. We can enjoy stuff. We enjoy coming home every day. It's just small things.
Incredible.
Mm.
Do you think that women experiencing homelessness have specific challenges in contrast to men experiencing homelessness?
Well, I don't know. If I think it's all about the kids. Like, you can do stuff yourself and get through it, but it's just kids,
Yeah.
mainly kids. The way that would affect them.
Mm-hmm. You used to imagine yourself with your own house
Yeah,
over the years.
yeah,
Can you tell me about that?
yeah. I used to picture it in my head, and I'd say, well, I will have a house one day. I will be able to enjoy it. The little fella growing up happy, and just enjoying every day, instead of, I suppose, dreading the next day what's going to happen. So now everything just changed, and everything is all for the better in both our lives.
Great. That's so good to hear. So Dublin Simon Community came into your life, and you got a very exciting email one day.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
I remember I was sitting on the chair and I checked the email, and it said from the council, and that somebody from Simon Community would be in touch with me, and gave me the address of the property. And I was so shocked. I was so shocked that I didn't think it was real. But when Simon Community did get in contact with me, I asked them, I says, am I being offered this property? And he said, yeah. I don't think I could carry on the conversation because I just was in floods of tears. So yeah, and then I went to see it, and I was just I couldn't believe it. It was the best thing ever, and they were so the staff there that showed me the house. They were just unbelievable, so nice, so helpful in every way.
What was your first impression of the house when you saw it?
I was thinking, am I at the right property? And then when Fergus and June came up, and before I went in, I said, am I being offered this really? And they said, yeah. I was looking around and I was like, God, this is too good to be true. I said, no, but it's real. It's happening. And from then on, just everything changed for the better.
So what impact do you think the new house has had on you?
Me, well, like I said, I can plan things. I love shopping for the house where I couldn't before. So yeah, I can go in and I say that's going to look lovely in the sitting room, or I can buy them, I can buy this. Don't have to pack, move, or give it away. Yeah, I'm just at ease now. I'm just at peace and just so grateful.
So in the past, you might have seen something that you really liked,
yeah,
like an ornament or a lampshade or something.
Yeah.
And you think, oh no,
There
I'll leave that behind because there's no point.
There was this one time I seen a really lovely lamp, and I said, yeah, I'd love that. And it was on sale, and then I was thinking, no, I better not, because I can't bring it with me. Like, I don't own the house. I can't bring it with me. So I left it. And that's like, now I can go in, and if I see something, I'll just buy it straight away, because I'm going to have that there forever.
Oh, that's lovely. And the new house for your son, what's the impact been on him?
He's well, he's so happy because he has a back garden. I was able to buy him a trampoline. I was able to get him a pet, a little small dog.
Yeah.
And he's just more happier. He knocks for a little boy next door, a little girl across the road, and he's just out in the garden playing. And yeah, he's totally really happy.
That's amazing to hear. Do you have plans for yourself for the future? Are you kind of visualizing what life is going to look like in the future, and the changes you'd like to make, or the kind of lifestyle you'd like to have?
Well, I'm just going to continue with, it's just me and my 3 children, and it's just I'm so happy them coming up to visit. That's the main thing. They can come up to visit. There's room for them to sleep. I'm in the process of doing your rooms up. Perfect. So anytime they're up, it's there for them forever. Yeah.
Do you have plans to decorate the house, or
Yeah,
do
I have
something with the
been.
garden? Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to have herb garden, all the herbs, a few vegetables. Like, I got a trampoline for the little fella. So, and it's a bigger back garden, not a little tiny one. So I have loads of room, loads of stuff to do with it. And yeah, I'm decorating the house because I know I'm not going to be moving. So I'm able to put stuff into it that's going to stay.
Such a relief.
Yeah, such a relief.
So you said that your son, he was a baby when you were homeless, and you were glad about that.
I was glad because he doesn't remember any of it. That's why I was so worried if I had to go into homelessness again, into B&Bs, from hotel to hotel, whatever. I'd say it would have a very negative impact on him, because I know what it's like, and I'm an adult. I was the parent of our child go through that. Yeah, I think it'd leave a bad impact with them. Yeah.
So Sharon, how did you spend your days when you were homeless?
Lucky enough, it was in the summertime, so I could go for walks, bring him out because he wasn't even a year old. So go to the park, have something to eat out. But it was just killing time, and then go back and just wondering where I was going to be that night, whether I'd be in the same place or I'd have to pack up everything, get the bus, try and find where this other place would be that I'd be staying. So it was just constant. It was just constant. It was always dread. It was always like for that summer. I think I couldn't enjoy it.
It's probably the worst summer of your life.
Yeah, I'd say so. One of the worst. Yeah.
And not only are you homeless, but you have a small baby that probably doesn't sleep through the night.
Yeah.
So difficult.
Yeah, it was mainly, that was the worst. And I'm just glad he was too young that he doesn't remember it. But yeah, it's not having your own place and always thinking, because it's always in your mind, and just hoping you'll just get somewhere so you can call home somewhere. But I think the homelessness and B&Bs was probably the worst.
Do you think there's anything that people don't realise about homelessness that they wouldn't even come to mind?
If you didn't go through it, I don't think you'd probably say, "Oh, that's terrible" and all that. But when you experience it, you kind of realize, like, if one of my friends says she was in a B&B, I'd feel so terrible for her, especially if she had kids, because it is very hard. It's more the kids. It was more the kids for me.
Yeah.
Your heart would go out to them.
And I can imagine if you're in a hotel room or a B&B, you don't have cooking facilities. You don't have laundry facilities.
Yeah.
You're in one room, so you can't close the door behind, the child, or, there's no getting away. Are there any other kind of practical?
And sometimes you might get a place where it's a shared bathroom, so you have to wait. And especially with a small baby, you have to try and get in the shower, give them a shower, because you have to take a shower or wash when you can. You couldn't go into somewhere and not have a wash that night, because then you just don't know where you'd be the next night. But yeah, it's when you get into a room and you have a bathroom, you're delighted. Because you say, "Oh, I don't have to share this. I don't have to wait for somebody else to come out."
Do you have any memories that stand out over from your experiences over the years of homelessness, of renting? If you look back, what memories come to mind?
The homelessness was the worst, being in the B&Bs, and the renting. Even though you have your own place, but it's a year to year kind of thing, so you don't know when you're going. Because it happened to me twice, I've got notices to quit. It's always on your mind, thinking, "Oh God, I never want to go into a B&B again." Because you don't know how long you're going to be there, and especially with a child, or if you have kids, that's the worst.
Would you say there's like a fear that's always with you, even when you're renting?
Yeah, because you don't know if it's going to happen to you again. I didn't know what happened to me in the first place, and then I experienced it, and then I think then I was more dreading if it ever happened again. And that's why when Dublin Simon got in contact with me, it was a godsend. It really was.
So Sharon, if you could go back and talk to your younger self, what would you say?
I'd say it's going to all work out in the end. And it definitely did. Even though you go through, like everybody goes through bad patches in their life, but yeah, mine ended up being a good story in the end.
That's good. What's been your happiest moment in the house so far?
There's been loads of happy moments, but when I first got the keys and I said to the girls, can I move in? They said, yeah, you can move in today if you want. Moving in that night, and even though we didn't have any heating, we we got a couple of duvets and we were in the bedroom and we were so happy. That was, yeah. I just laugh when I think about that. You know the way when your child is small, you love having a bath with them, but we've always just had a shower, and trying to shower a small child is. And then as he got older, then he like got used to having the showers. But yeah, when we moved into the house and he's in the bath, can I have a bath? He's been having a bath nearly every night. Yeah, it's one of his favourite things. It's having a bath. He missed out on years.
Is there anything you would say to a person who is in the same situation as you were a few years ago?
Just to not give up hope, and just keep in your mind that you will get somewhere and it'll be worth it in the end.
So hang in there.
Yeah.
If you had one word to describe home, what would that be?
Just total peace of mind and thankfulness. Peace of mind, peace.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been able to enjoy your life and live. Just, home is like where you're going to be. You're not just going to be there for a little while and worrying about someone telling you, oh, you have to move out now in a couple of months. And just enjoying it. Just peace of mind.
I just want to thank you so sincerely, Sharon, for coming here today, for sharing your story with such honesty and openness. We appreciate it so very, very much, and thank you.
You're very welcome. And I just want to thank Dublin Simon Community for everything, and yourself as well.
It's my pleasure.
These are a great team.
Oh, you.
Thank you for listening. To find out how you can help, visit www.dubsimon.ie.
Dublin Simon. Homeless, not less.